Picture this: you're just a regular guy, walking into your bank on a sunny Friday afternoon, cash from a hard-earned deal in your pocket, thinking about your kid sister's future, and then, bam, you're in cuffs, treated like a crook before anyone even bothers to check your story. That's what happened to Jamal Carter, a warehouse foreman from Dayton, Ohio, a guy who's been grinding his whole life, never asking for a handout. I'm telling you, life can turn on a dime, and Jamal's day went from normal to a nightmare in minutes. He was just trying to deposit a $12,000 check money from selling his dad's old '76 Chevy Impala, a beat-up car that meant the world to him, something his dad left behind after years of working double shifts at a factory. Jamal wanted to put that cash toward his little sister Aaliyah's college fund, maybe fix up his porch too, do something real with it. So he pulls into the parking lot of his usual bank on Main Street, grabs the check, walks in. Same place he's been going for years, but this time, the air feels different. Inside, it's the usual scene: a couple of retirees filling out deposit slips, a guy in a suit tapping away on his phone, and a teller, Sarah, who's maybe 25, giving him that fake customer service smile. Jamal slides the check across the counter, says, "Hey, just need to deposit this," cool as ever. Sarah glances at it, sees the number, and her smile freezes. That look, like she's trying to figure out if you're pulling a fast one. She asks for his ID, types something into her computer, and then her eyes dart to the side, like she's signaling someone. Jamal's been around long enough to know something's off, but he keeps his cool, hands in his pockets, waiting. Then the manager, Mr. Brooks, strolls over, all stiff and formal, says, "Mr. Carter, where'd this check come from?" Jamal's like, "Sold my dad's car. Man, it's legit." But Brooks doesn't even blink, just nods and mutters about needing to verify. Next thing you know, Sarah's hand slips under the counter. Yeah, that silent alarm button. Jamal's stomach drops. He hears sirens in the distance, getting louder, and he's thinking, this is really happening? Over a check. Now, let's back up. Jamal's no stranger to being sized up wrong. Grew up in a rough part of Dayton, raised by a single dad who taught him to keep his head down, work hard, stay out of trouble. By 35, he's running a crew at a distribution center, respected by his guys, always the first to roll up his sleeves. At home, it's just him and his dog, but his sister Aaliyah, she's 12, sharp as a tack, always asking him big questions about the world. That's why he sold the Impala, not for himself, but for her, to give her a shot at something better. But standing there in that bank, watching Brooks avoid his eyes and Sarah fidget like she's caught in a lie, Jamal feels that old weight again, the one that says no matter how hard you work, some folks will always see you as less. The sirens pull up, and two cops burst in. One's a big guy, all business, barking, "Step away from the counter, sir." The other's younger, quieter, watching Jamal like he's trying to read him. The bank goes dead silent. Everyone's staring: the retirees, the suit, even a kid with a backpack who's just there to cash his birthday check. Jamal raises his hands, slow, says, "Officers, I'm just depositing a check. Been banking here for 10 years. But the big cop's not hearing it, grabs his wrist, snaps on the cuffs, cold metal biting into his skin. The kid with the backpack gasps, and Jamal's thinking about Aaliyah, how she'd look at him if she saw this. He locks eyes with Sarah, says, "You didn't even check the check, did you? Just saw me and hit that button." Sarah stammers, It's policy, big amounts. We have to be careful." Jamal's voice cuts like a knife. "Careful about what? My face? My clothes? Or the fact I walked in here with money you didn't think I should have?" The crowd's murmuring now, and the younger cop, Officer Hayes, he's looking uneasy, like he knows this is messed up. He asks Brooks, "You verify the check yet?" Brooks mumbles something about protocol, and Jamal laughs. Bitter, says, "Protocol? You mean assuming I'm a thief before you even pick up the phone?" The big cop's ready to haul him out, but Hayes holds up a hand, says, "Wait, where's the paperwork for this car sale?" Jamal nods to his truck outside. Glove box, bill of sale, buyer's name, all there. Hayes sends another officer to check, and the crowd's getting loud now, someone muttering, "This ain't right." Jamal feels the cuffs, the stares, the weight of it all, but he stands tall, says, "I've worked my whole life to do right, and you're treating me like I don't belong in my own bank." Minutes drag like hours, but the officer comes back with the paperwork. It's legit, signed, dated, no question. Hayes looks at the big cop, says, "Uncuff him." The cuffs come off, and Jamal rubs his wrists, staring down Sarah and Brooks, who can't meet his eyes. The crowd's quiet now, some nodding, some ashamed. Jamal grabs his check, looks at Hayes, says, "You listened, man, respect for that, but this shouldn't have happened." Then he turns to the kid with the backpack, says, "Don't let nobody tell you you're less than them. You hear me?" The kid nods, eyes wide. Jamal walks out, past the flashing lights, gets in his truck, and just sits there, gripping the wheel, thinking about his dad, Aaliyah, and how fairness is something you gotta fight for, even when you've done everything right. As he drives off, the bank's reflection fades in his mirror, but the sting doesn't. This wasn't just about a check, it's about a world that's quick to judge, slow to listen. So what do you think? When you see someone getting done wrong, do you speak up, or do you stay quiet? Drop a comment. Tell me, would you have stood up for Jamal, or would you have looked the other way? Share this story. Let's talk about what's right, what's wrong, and what we're going to do about it.